title.
The score will be settled.
NXT TakeOver Toronto, streaming live on WWE Network tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. As always, WWE Network is free for new subscribers.
The historic night known as NXT TakeOver.
Here we go!
I've never killed myself to save my soul. I was gone, but I was out of
Adam Cole. Johnny Gargano, 2 out of 3 falls.
For the NXT title.
The score will be settled.
NXT TakeOver Toronto, streaming live on WWE Network tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. As always, WWE Network is free for new subscribers.
The historic night known as NXT TakeOver.
Here we go!
I've never killed myself to save my soul. I was gone, but I was out of
Adam Cole. Johnny Gargano, 2 out of 3 falls.
For the NXT title.
The score will be settled.
NXT TakeOver Toronto, streaming live on WWE Network tonight, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. As always, WWE Network is free for new subscribers. And now, WWE Network presents NXT TakeOver Toronto pre-show.
NXT Universe, you know why we're here. This weekend marks the biggest party of the summer, and the action is just getting started tonight in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena for NXT TakeOver. We are ready for a big night ahead. The people are still filing into the event center, and we are ready for a night of a whole lot of fun. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the NXT TakeOver Toronto pre-show. I'm your host, Charlie Caruso, and of course, I am so very honored to be joined by 2 of my very favorite people in the world. First of all, he is one half of the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts show, the last professional broadcaster, Sam Roberts.
Thank you, Charlie. I am so excited about tonight. Toronto, a city already rich with NXT history. Tonight's the night we find out if that history becomes undisputed.
Toronto rich with a lot of things. This man over here, he is just plain rich. He has had a week full of so many accomplishments. He is the newest member of ESPN's broadcast team. Also starting September 9th, you can catch him on Westwood 1. He is Mr. Pat McAfee.
Charlie, thank you for that incredible introduction. Tonight is going to do what just every other takeover does, which is set the tone for an incredible weekend. Tonight, from top to bottom, the card is immaculate. I can't wait to kick off the weekend. I'm honored to be here. The biggest party of the summer is this weekend, and tonight is going to be incredible in Toronto, Ontario.
Anything you're especially excited for tonight, guys?
Well, I think it's about finding out if the Undisputed Era are able to take all of the gold in NXT home with them. It's something that they promised to do in the year 2019, and tonight, to borrow a phrase from another famous person from Toronto, they want to have their chips with the div.
Oh,
I like that.
Little Drizzy quote early from Sam Roberts. Never would have thought that. I think with the Undisputed Era's opportunities to be draped in gold, I see you eyeballing my incredible denim outfit. But I think with the thought that Undisputed Era could go home with draped in gold, the alternative is also an option. They could be completely shut out tonight. That's why tonight is going to be magical here at the Scotiabank Arena.
Well, the Scotiabank Arena, home of the Toronto Raptors, bringing home that championship gold this year. As you just heard, the Undisputed Era looked to be dripping in gold. gold when they leave here. But ladies and gentlemen, it is the first of 4 nights here in Toronto. We are kicking things off in a big way here with NXT TakeOver Toronto. Start time of 7 p.m. And of course, we can't forget what's going down in this same building tomorrow night. It is the biggest party of the summer. SummerSlam also starting at 7 o'clock in the evening. Now, there is only one place you can catch all of this weekend's festivities. That is on the WWE Network. So right now, you only have one choice. Head on over to WWENetwork.com and sign up because TakeOver tonight, SummerSlam tomorrow, both of those events free for new subscribers. So what do you say we talk about TakeOver? Gentlemen, what's in store for tonight?
Charlie, tonight is going to be magical. 2 men look to settle the score once and for all in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Championship. The NXT champion, Adam Cole, baby, defends against Johnny Gargano for the 3rd time.
And how about the grudge match that all of the NXT universe has been waiting for? The woman who has evolved past friends, Io Shirai, has a score to settle with her former friend, Candice LeRae. Tonight they meet one-on-one, finally.
A little personal beef there, Sam. Also this evening, a triple threat match for the North American Championship. Your champion, Velveteen Dream, will have to defend against the Undisputed Era's Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight.
After winning the NXT Tag Team Championships in a classic ladder match at TakeOver 25, tonight the champions, the Street Profits, have to defend those titles against the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
And tonight, Mia Yim looking to dethrone the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler. Shayna has ruled the NXT Women's Division with an iron fist for more than 9 months now. So Yim is stepping up in a way no other woman has, intent on bringing Shayna's oppressive reign to a crumbling halt.
I grew up in SoCal near LA. It was a war zone right outside my house. I had to be standing on my own 2 feet since day one.
I be in it all night, I be in it all day. Tango ombre, eat verses like they entrees. Never been an outcast, I ain't dissing, I'm no Andre.
Wrestling was an escape. I was born to fight. This is just gonna be the beginning. Because of the fans, because of their support, they're the reasons why I'm here. And I'll be damned to let them down.
Every night, every day, soon I'm gonna get by.
My motivation to become NXT Women's Champion is to show these people that it's possible, even when everything is against you.
She's got a great story. Pulled herself up from the streets, came from nothing. It's gonna take a little more than a great story to impress me. When you're in the ring across from me, story always ends the same. Tap.
She is dangerous, ruthless, malicious,
Nap.
disagreeable, calculating.
Merciless.
Snap.
The first ever 2-time NXT Women's Champion.
This division is more talented than it's ever been, and I'm the champion. I got hired on this company based on what I achieved. She got hired because a bunch of fans chanted her name. Has she earned a title shot? She hasn't even earned her job here.
Shayna's only been dominant because she had these 2 bitches behind her back. Has she ever won anything on her own?
I'm not just the champion, I'm the feared champion.
It's always been Shayna plus 2. That's why I took out her 2 lackeys.
She attacks him from behind and injures them? Mia Yim doesn't even deserve a title shot. She deserves a prison sentence.
What's it like to know that you ain't the baddest woman in NXT anymore?
At TakeOver Toronto, I will put her and her street trash fantasies to sleep.
At TakeOver Toronto, she's gonna be looking across the ring, no friends, no allies, and see someone that doesn't fear her.
She doesn't compare to me, and she surely hasn't achieved the things that I have.
The NXT Women's Championship is coming to the HBIC.
This is my championship. This
is my division.
Okay, Mia's actions, they leave Shayna in a position she really has never been in. That's without her backup. So how's that going to affect her tonight?
I don't know how much of a factor that's going to be, actually. Look, I'm so excited that Mia Yim is in the position that she's in. 10 years ago, I was sitting in Rahway, New Jersey, watching Mia Yim wrestle. The only reason that she's in the position that she's in today is because she's worked harder than anybody on the NXT roster to get into that position.
Amen.
Unfortunately for Mia Yim, no amount of work is going to make her better than Shayna Baszler.
Wow.
Mia Yim has gotten this far to get this far.
I honestly don't know if you're saying that with sarcasm or not, but honestly, Mia Yim has had to pave her own road to get here. She talked about it in the package there, starting from little to nothing. Everybody has wanted her to make it. The fans have watched her work ethic. I don't think she'll tap, nap, snap, or crap this evening. I think she's going to seize the opportunity here in Toronto under the takeover shine, and I think tonight's going to be a massive night for Mia Yim. I think this is the time that the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, who scares me, has met her match, and tonight's going to be a magical night for everybody.
So much of what you just said is wrong, whether it's the words or the phrasing, but most importantly, the fact that you didn't acknowledge that Shayna Baszler is simply better than Mia Yim, regardless of how hard she worked to get
Mia
here.
said she's going to bring a fight that Shayna cannot prepare herself for, so...
A lot of people have said things like that with Shayna Baszler.
A lot of people have said it. None have yet to do so. But, guys, not only is the Women's Championship on the line tonight, the NXT Championship also up for grabs, and our WWE.com cameras earlier caught up with the Undisputed Era's Adam Cole.
It's Cole versus Gargano 3. One more time, I get the chance to put a stamp on this. One more time, I get the chance to prove to Johnny Gargano that he is a lesser Adam Cole. He will never be in my league. He will never beat me, and I'm going to hold on to this NXT Championship for as long as I damn well please. And at the end of tonight, at the end of TakeOver Toronto, myself, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, we will stand on top of the NXT mountain as the NXT champions of the world. Draped in gold. 2019, draped in gold. Because me, I'm undisputed. I'm unrelenting, and I'm unbeatable.
All right, well, we are less than 30 minutes away from the start of TakeOver Toronto. Fans still filing in, and we are ready for a whole lot of fun tonight. You know tonight is going to be full of intense action. And speaking of intense, we just saw Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era backstage. And guys, they have promised to leave here tonight dripping in gold. Do you think that's going to happen?
It very well could. I mean, they've put themselves in a position where it could. It's not like it's a coincidence that all the members either have a championship or are in a championship match tonight. They're all there because they deserve to be there.
We are sitting in tomorrow's yesterday, right? And it seems like many yesterdays ago, Adam Cole made this declaration that the Undisputed Era was going to be draped in gold, and they haven't been able to do it. Now, granted, Adam Cole has been a workhorse as an NXT champion, but the fall from penthouse to outhouse can happen very fast, and tonight could be one of those nights for the Undisputed Era.
Well, Adam Cole is defending his championship tonight against Johnny Gargano. You have to imagine Gargano is going to be slightly preoccupied with his wife, Candice LeRae, who also has a match of her own this evening, that being against Io Shirai, a woman she used to call her friend, who all of a sudden turned her back on Candice LeRae and ended up stabbing her in the back. So that's going to be something we all have our eyes on tonight. Now, guys, this is really kind of a mysterious situation because they were friends. I mean, Io Shirai was the one woman who had Candice LeRae's back, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, she's hitting her with a steel chair.
Well, Candice, she was supposed to have Io's back. Io finally snapped because enough was enough. She's counting on this person to have her back. There she is. She thinks that she's got the NXT Women's Championship in her grasp. All she wants is that title. She was easily the greatest challenger that Shayna Baszler ever had. And Io had to watch it slip through her grips, only to see her quote-unquote friend, Candice LeRae, come and have her back when it didn't matter anymore.
Listen, let's just tell it how it is.
Look at how she snapped. That's the Io Shirai that she needs to be a serious contender for the Women's Championship.
I don't think she needs to be.
She has zero remorse. Zero.
She's a bad human here. She is just absolutely demolishing the one person that went out of their way, off the chair there, suplex off the chair. Candice wrestling, okay, Mrs. Wrestling.
Right.
Came out to save Io Shirai and help her out, and all she did was turn her back. This is bad versus good, and I'm on Team Good every single time. So.
I mean, will she ever come to regret isolating herself like this?
Why
Yes.
would she? I mean, she surrounded herself with friends, and what good did it do her? Nothing.
I'm a team guy.
I think you need to have some people by your side.
Cool. How many Super Bowl
I think in the
victories
long
you got?
run, that's helpful.
How many Super Bowl victories your team leads you to, Pat?
We went to a Super Bowl. We
Victories,
lost.
I said.
Neither here nor there. I contributed nothing. Probably my fault, to be honest.
Just like
but
this
it's
show.
nice to have a person watching your back, unlike you.
Oh, okay, guys. Well,
Bad
you know what?
guy.
This grudge match is definitely going to be exciting to watch. Something else that's going to be exciting to watch is this triple threat match for the North American Championship. Now, there are 3 contenders, 3 of whom we have seen on an NXT TakeOver stage before. We see the Velveteen Dream tonight under a significant amount of pressure against Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. It's a match with no disqualifications, no countouts, and where Dream doesn't even have to be involved in the decision to lose his title.
Undisputed Era is calling themselves the omnipotent force here in NXT.
And Roderick Strong with designs on the North American title.
Roderick Strong is one hell of a man.
They don't call him the Messiah of the Backbreaker for nothing.
But no matter who he is or what he can do, if he gets the experience that he is asking for.
This is the most confident and capable I've ever seen Roderick Strong.
Strong will know that he is not big enough to ride this ride.
Velveteen Dream. Hit it.
The Velveteen Dream, NXT's provocative prodigy.
I don't think you deserve to be the North American champion. From sea to shining sea.
Check him out, Velveteen Dream. This man is a symbol of hope. He's a symbol of freedom.
Purple Rainmaker.
Velveteen Dream is still the North American champion. You know I am the real deal, and I can take your title like that.
No way! Pete Dunne is back at Full Sail Live.
Roderick Strong, a Velveteen Dream. I'm the longest reigning champion in NXT history.
The Bruiserweight United Kingdom champion. Nearly 2 years.
It's that title history that made William Regal believe Pete Dunne should be in with a title opportunity for the North American title.
So at TakeOver Toronto, I'm gonna win that North American Championship.
Wait a second!
Oh! And then I'll break my own record.
Triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship.
The Dream represents North America.
I'm the guy that put NXT UK on the map.
And the last time the Dream checked, he stands here NXT North American champion.
Oh my!
TakeOver Toronto!
I gave the United Kingdom Championship prestige.
The result is undisputed.
I'm gonna do the same for the North American Championship.
You know who might have regrets? Men that call the Dream's name without reason. Dream over.
Well, it's exactly what we're used to seeing. The Velveteen Dream never wavers in his confidence, but is tonight really the most pressure that he's ever been under?
I think probably. I mean, this triple threat match, I think, is going to steal the entire show tonight. You're talking about a triple threat match where everybody involved has something to prove, not just to win, but to prove, whether it's the Velveteen Dream establishing himself as that dominant North American champion, whether it's Pete Dunne, who, quite frankly, without a championship, doesn't have an identity. He wants to be that champion that holds a title forever. And then you've got Roderick Strong, who has to win, not only for the sake of himself, but for the sake of the Undisputed Era.
The incredible maestro of the microphone, Mauro Ronaldo, dubbed Velveteen Dream the provocative prodigy. And he's not the only one. Everybody has talked about how incredible Velveteen Dream is. And all he's done is show up at takeovers and steal the show. Pete Dunne was a champion for a long time, and once you have that taste of gold, it's probably something you want back. And Roderick Strong is looking to represent the Undisputed Era tonight, but I'm just not sure how Velveteen Dream lets this North American Championship slip out. There's something going on behind us.
There's something
just
going
like
on.
there's going to be all night. But Velveteen Dream is walking out of Canada the same way he walked into Canada, and that's the North American champion. The champion of this country, by the way.
That's not the name of the country, Canada. But I would have to agree with Pat. I think that the Velveteen Dream walks out with the North American title. I think that this match is the Undisputed Era's biggest risk of not walking out fully draped in gold.
Oh, okay, that's a bold statement right there.
Roderick Strong going to let down the Undisputed Era.
Well, Adam Cole also responsible for helping the Undisputed Era bring home that gold. Now, tonight's NXT Championship match between Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano, it is a 2 out of 3 falls match, each fall with its own stipulation attached to it. Now, we know 2 of the stipulations will be a straight-up wrestling match, also a street fight stipulation, but there is a third stipulation attached to that third fall if need be. That is up to William Regal. So there's a lot of speculation as to what that third fall is going to be, and Johnny Gargano has his own thoughts on it.
A lot of history in this building. 2016, DIY versus Revival. 2 out of 3 falls. The 2016 Match of the Year. I won my first championship in NXT in this building. And now tonight, Adam Cole, tonight I am going to beat the hell out of you all over this building in another 2 out of 3 falls match. Now I know Mr. Regal has this surprise third fall. Well, he's not gonna need it. Because tonight, Johnny Gargano cements his legacy. Tonight, Johnny Gargano goes to war. He goes to hell. And he comes out the new NXT champion.
You are listening to Unsainted by Slipknot from the album We Are Not Your Kind, an NXT Loud theme song for NXT TakeOver Toronto. Available now on iTunes and Spotify.
Banger.
It is a banger, and we are just over 10 minutes until we go live on the WWE Network for TakeOver Toronto. The NXT Universe still making their way into the Scotiabank Arena. All 4 titles are on the line on the eve of the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. And I want to welcome everybody back to the NXT TakeOver Toronto pre-show. We're having a lot of fun here. We are ready for a big night ahead. Now, tonight, NXT TakeOver Toronto. It is the first of 4 nights here at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. And then, of course, we can't forget tomorrow, the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. There is only one place to catch all this action. That is going to be on the WWE Network. So right now, everybody, you do not have a choice. I want you to head over right now to WWENetwork.com, sign up, and start your free trial because NXT TakeOver Toronto. Tomorrow's SummerSlam, absolutely F-R-E-E, free for new subscribers. But gentlemen, let's talk about what's going down tonight.
Tonight is an electric evening in Toronto. And the NXT Tag Team Championships are on the line. Your champions, the Street Profits, will take on the Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish.
How about that triple threat match that we were just talking about? So much on the line, not the least of which the NXT North American Championship. The Velveteen Dream is defending that title against Pete Dunne and the Undisputed Era's Roderick Strong.
Love a good grudge match, love a good personal beef, and this one has all the makings to be incredible. Io Shirai will take on Candice LeRae, the former friends. Now they'll like each other, are going to get after it here at NXT TakeOver Toronto.
Tonight, Shayna Baszler's got to prove not only that she can retain the NXT Women's Championship, but she can do it without backup. Shayna defends against the street tough Mia Yim.
And tonight it is on for the NXT Championship, but it is a match with a twist. A 2 out of 3 falls match between bitter foes, the champion Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano, with each competitor choosing their own stipulation for the first 2 falls, with the third, if needed, being in the hands of Commissioner William Regal.
On the black and gold brand's biggest stage at TakeOver New York.
I will fight to make my dream come true.
Tonight we will crown NXT's first Triple Crown winner.
Johnny Wrestling will finally become
From Ultimate Underdog
NXT
to NXT's Top Dog
Champion.
Oh, Gargano has him, the new NXT Champion.
This was a long journey, but I stand here proudly, Johnny Champion.
It's Cole Gargano 2 for the NXT title.
This time, I'll be the one walking out as the new NXT champion.
We are in the throes of another barn burner of an NXT championship match. Adam Cole wants to fulfill his golden prophecy.
The NXT champion.
Last shot.
Gargano's done.
We have a new NXT champion.
The leader of the Undisputed Era did it all on his own.
Told you so.
Starting with this, we are going to remake the NXT universe into an undisputed image. At TakeOver 25, my destiny became a reality because this NXT championship belongs to me, and there's not a single person on this planet, including Johnny Gargano, who's gonna stop me. For the past few weeks, I've been traveling all across the globe on the Bay Championship Tour. NXT, the brand, needs a superstar like Adam Cole. A rock star like Adam Cole.
I'm here to tell each and every one of you that Johnny Gargano is full of crap. Just give up.
I'm ready to take on anybody, anytime, anywhere. I'm ready to put my NXT championship on the line. Twan Tucker, come on down! And don't worry, I'm alone. There's no Undisputed Era.
That's too bad, because I didn't come alone.
There we go! Cole tried to humiliate Gargano in Gargano's hometown of Cleveland. Johnny Gargano is bringing the fight to the new NXT champion.
TakeOver Toronto. It will be Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Johnny Gargano gets to pick one of the stipulations, Adam Cole gets to pick the other. And if this does go to a 3rd fall, I will pick the other stipulation.
The reason I chose a one-on-one wrestling match is quite simple. First matchup, 2 out of 3 falls. I pinned Johnny's shoulders to the mat. TakeOver 25, I pinned Johnny Gargano once again.
I picked a street fight, so I want to take away all the variables. Do whatever you want, because I'm going to be prepared this time. I'm going to do whatever it takes just to beat the hell out of you.
This rivalry has just been turned up to 11.
Cole versus Gargano 3.
Toronto is one of the best pure wrestling towns in the world, and they're definitely going to appreciate me beating the hell out of you all over their city.
I will go down as the greatest NXT champion that's ever lived, and I will prove that at TakeOver Toronto.
I'm taking Adam Cole to hell. I'm coming back with the NXT championship.
Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano are hell-bent on annihilating each other. And if the NXT Championship does go to a 3rd fall, what I've got planned, well, I could explain it, but I'd rather you see it. There will be a definitive end.
Was anybody expecting this?
Do you see what that cage looks like? Do you see the weaponry? Do you see the barbed wire? Do you see the carnage that cage has around it?
I seen a few kendo sticks inside that cage. I took one of those to the back. That is just the least of their problems. We got a steel cage. We got ladders. We got tables. We got barbed wire. I mean, tonight, if it gets to the 3rd fall, I have no idea how those men will survive.
I have no idea. I mean, this is their 3rd fall. They're bound to be exhausted by that point. I mean, who knows what lengths this could go to? This could be insane.
If you ever needed motivation to end this one in a hurry, I think Mr. Regal just gave it to both competitors.
I mean, what the hell was that? I mean, it's a contraption that just looks like it's built for complete pain. I mean, I can't wait to watch them. Every time Gargano and Cole have stepped in the ring together, they have blown the roof off the place. I mean, at 25, it was electric. It was incredible. And tonight, now we got a 2 out of 3 falls match, a regular match, a street fight, and then whatever that thing is, I mean, it's going to be electric this evening here in Toronto.
This is bound to be a historic night. NXT TakeOver Toronto is going to blow the roof off of this place. I already know that's the truth.
It's all about legacy. Tonight, it's about legacy for Adam Cole in that title, and it's about legacy for Johnny Gargano. If Johnny Gargano doesn't win tonight, his legacy will be that of somebody who could not sustain a championship title reign.
Undisputed Era has vowed to leave here dripping in gold. They said 2019 was going to be their year. Tonight we find out if that is true. NXT TakeOver Toronto coming your way live on the WWE Network. Enjoy.
I'm gonna make a promise. In 2019, the Undisputed Era will be draped in championship gold. This is the start of fulfilling that prophecy. We will have all the power and we will not stop until we get it. And that's not a threat. That's undisputed.
Tonight, will a dream become a nightmare?
Velveteen Dream, Pete Dunne, Roderick Strong, vying for the North American crown.
Can prophets withstand a prophecy?
Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly challenge the Street Profits for their NXT Tag Team titles.
A vigilante confronts a villain.
Shayna Baszler defends the championship against Mia Yim.
And a true champion will emerge tonight. Prophecy faces its final test as fate will show its face.
Johnny Gargano is bringing the fight to the NXT champion.
Gargano will not be stopped.
This rivalry has just been turned up to 11.
Tonight, power lies in the beholder.
We are going to remake the NXT universe
As the undisputed takeover
into an undisputed image
begins.